All right, so in the pursuit of bringing down Drive Knight, it seems that multiple heroes are now endeavoring together. We've seen the support team, but support team was always capable of working together in unison to get a job accomplished, and not necessarily the S class. The issues of the S class do not plague the rest. Maybe not in the same manner. That is, I'm not saying that like B class, C class, and A class love working with each other. We obviously know what rookie crushing is, but to see the cooperation amongst the S class, even Atomic Samurai noticed it. So, what do you guys think? What comes to mind seeing this? Is it like significant? Has Murata built it up enough? Like, is it like, do you not really care that much that they are or aren't working together? Like, do you need to see more bad things happen because they're not working together? Like, are all the things that are happening that are good because they have been working together? Like, is it because they've been separate that they're having success? Like, what do you guys think this whole cooperating aspect? What's the weight of it really?
I think it just tells you how significant the situation is, because usually the S-class heroes can handle things on their own relatively quickly. They can just eliminate any problem one-on-one, but the problem they face now is bigger than them and stronger than them, so they got to come as a collective to quell it. So for me, it's just a testament to how strong the Monster Association is as a unit.
I think this is probably going to be one of the key motifs moving forward, in the sense of he's questioning, you see Atomic here questioning, are they cooperating against someone like Sairochi? And this is no doubt, I don't have any doubts that this is going to be kind of, Sairochi isn't going to be the strongest villain that we see in the series. There's bound to be at least a few more stronger villains coming up in the future. So with that, if Tatsumaki can't take on Sairochi 1v1, she needs Genos. They're probably going to need some other help. Drive Knights come in. The fact that they're cooperating, it's going to be something that they'll need to be used to as they progress forward, unless they get obviously exponentially stronger. But I don't think they will. I think they're going to have to team up moving forward. And this is something we brought up, I think, a while ago now. I think Satsuki, Zhoniin, I think everybody pretty much said this at one point. With the other heroes in like the A class and maybe even the B class, what I'd like to see more of is the S class kind of cooperating with them and kind of instilling their teachings, maybe even apprenticing some of them, kind of developing them like that other psychic. What was his name?
Gearsper.
Yeah, Gearsper. So if he was under the tutelage of someone like Tatsumaki, or maybe even him and Fubuki under the tutelage of someone like Tatsumaki, that would be a really, really good experience for them. And then if there are other swordsmen or the other weapons users, maybe Atomic and his boys could probably skill them up as well. So the element of cooperation, I think, is necessary, and it's something that I hope Murata actually includes as we move forward, as the stakes get higher and higher.
It's definitely a notion that's going to be a more prevalent thing as we see the future of the series. There's no way around it. Because, as you brought up, it's like, Sairochi, definitely not going to be the top of the mountain villain, you know. Because, like, can we say that she's potentially stronger than Boros, or at least on par with him?
Stop.
But, like, you don't know, like, these kinds of things are always...
Stop kidding yourself, Keishan. You know too.
Uh-oh.
We should never mention Boros in the same sentence as Sairochi. It'll taint his name.
Uh-oh.
But I'm just going by, like, the shonen tropes that there are. It's like there's always a bigger villain later in the series. If there's not, then it's like, then you kind of just plateaued, and then there's really no overall threat because the heroes are just going to get stronger, and then they're never going to have a challenge. And then the series becomes less enjoyable as things go on. So there always has to be a bigger villain.
Not necessarily. I mean, it just depends on how things go. Like how many of the S-class heroes have we seen improve? Have we seen a few of them? But have they improved so much to where you feel like there is never going to be a threat if the threats don't become increasingly threatening?
Yeah, I definitely disagree with that because like One Punch Man that's one of the key reasons why One Punch Man is great, and I can confirm that from day one since I started reading. We've been seeing dragons and all kinds of power fluctuations from the beginning of the series. Boros was in chapter 30, 35, 34, 36, I believe, of this story, and we're on chapter 135. This is the most recent time we're reaching anybody come close to that. So I definitely don't think that like in order to and as the story progresses, that in order for us to remain or to continue to have hype, that we have to continue to escalate it. But I also don't think that Kishin's just like there obviously weight to what he's saying. Like there's gonna be more threats and larger threats as we progress in the story. That's usually how it goes. It's not concrete, but like I at least want to hop onto what I thought he was saying, that like the teamwork is gonna be needed, and it may be required. It may not even be enough for what may come next. But did you have more?
I do want to bring up the thing about the apprenticeships again. Like that would have to be something, because like, okay, as you said, you know, we don't always have like these super strong characters, you know, that are the opposing force all throughout the series. It's more of just like hit and miss, and then we have these long gaps of, you know, lesser threats, but they're still menacing in their own right. Well, it's like that would be a good time to get those apprenticeships off the ground, to get these weaker heroes up to snuff, and they start rising through the ranks, showing what they're really capable of when they have a good teacher, you know, be it somewhere in the S class or new characters that we meet that aren't even a part of the hero system. So, you know, there's a lot of potential for just about any character we've seen in this arc to improve in some way or fashion. And then we know the lower rank heroes, it's a necessity for them to work together because they don't have the power to take down even some of the lower level monsters by themselves. So it's like if they, you know, they can pass that on to the S class as well and be like, hey, it's like, you used to be like us. What changed? You got powerful, but you lost all of your like cooperative fighting skills. That's kind of weird. So maybe that would be like an inspiration for the S class as well. So there's a lot that could happen.
I could see it becoming a normal thing if the monsters keep getting stronger, which is possible, but I don't know if Murata will go down that road where everybody's just stronger and stronger. But I mean, it doesn't really. I don't know. I don't think it really matters much to me. I guess I never even really thought about it like that. I mean, I think it's cool when you see them team up like that, especially when they got great chemistry. That's pretty much it.
See, yeah, I think that response, like, it still holds weight because, like, I kind of somewhat feel the exact same way too. That's why I kept mentioning if Murata has like built it up enough, or if one has built it up enough, because this is the dilemma that I always get into, that people outside of the podcast, not necessarily, but in the Discord community for sure. I always bring up the scenario with Melzigar, right? If we're really under the assumption that requiring more heroes is because the threat is stronger or more difficult or more complex, whatever it may be, then Melzigar is obviously a strong villain. Moreover, it was said that Garou boss was the strongest of all the commanders, and he got one-shot. So we didn't really get to see the strength of Boros' commanders. We really only got to see Melzigar. And when Melzigar fought, it took 4 S-class to fight him. So, at least when I argue with people, that's what makes me downplay, or what I think that they're downplaying cooperation of the teamwork, because they're basically saying that, like, you got a guy like Atomic Samurai with Atomic Slash, Bang, who hasn't necessarily had a power up, so he could have been as capable as he is now back then. Metal Bat, who we know his potential, and Pooty Pooty, who was tough back then as well. Like, those guys, we saw them work together. We saw them at least fight together, and that's what they're doing now. So if he's calling that cooperating, then that's what happened back then. If that's cooperating, we saw the success of it, they managed to kill Melzagard. That has to be a feat for Melzagard. He has to be really tough for that. So to me, by us saying that, like, or agreeing that cooperating means that the enemy should be stronger, to me, that's my evidence for saying Melzagard is stronger. But that's to the side. I'm simply pointing out that, like, if people are honestly going to downplay that scenario, when those 4 S-Class fought a monster, or was pretty tough with his powers and originality or whatever, then what significance does it really have in the rest of the story? Like, we never see Saitama fight with anybody because it's just one-shotting. What, the other main character, Genos, he doesn't really like to fight with people also, and he does it on his own, whether it's Sonic, whether it's Elder Centipede. Like, they took turns fighting Elder Centipede. Genos went on his own. Like, the main cast doesn't really fight with other people. They do it on their own and they show out. And that's the same for the other heroes. So I'm basically questioning this plot point, as in, like, maybe it's not cemented enough. Like, what's the real value of cooperating? We don't really see a need for it. Like, is he implying that, like, Atomic Samurai with help would be able to beat Black Sperm? Or, like, what about a Mind Mass? With if he really got help, would he have really turned it around, or would he have just ran away? Like, that's what I'm pointing out. I don't think cooperating is as big a plot point as what he's trying to emphasize it to be. And I want to wait to see, like, one add more detail to that.